Hi, I recently got a personal message on YouTube. I'm not going to name names, but you know who you are. Uh, it's from I believe he's a Christian. There's two people that I'm PMing back and forth. I don't remember who it was, actually, so I can't name names. But, he was telling me a bunch of things about Christianity and atheism and back and forth. And one of the things he said is something that I've seen a lot, that it's really kind of annoying me how people see everything in black and white when it's really not. He said that if he's wrong as a Christian, then when he dies, you know, he just goes into non-existence and nothing happens, and he's lost nothing. And that if I'm wrong as an atheist, then, you know, I go to hell and get tortured for all eternity. And so the best thing to do would be to believe in God. So that's basically Pascal's wager that he's giving me. And there's a few problems with Pascal's wager. One of the main things is that it assumes that there's only two options. And the only two options are Christianity and atheism. But there's no other options. You know? That if I'm wrong as an atheist, then Christianity must be right, and so I go to hell. If he's wrong as a Christian, then atheism must be right, and therefore he goes into nothingness. Those aren't the only two options, though. There's hundreds of religions, and if we go into denominations, I'm willing to bet there's at least 1,000 denominations of different religions on the planet. So, what if we're both wrong? What if there is no God or the devil, as you define it as a Christian, but what if the Hindu gods are real? Or what if reincarnation is real? What if I die and get reincarnated as another person? Then what happens to your wager? Absolutely nothing. Your wager doesn't even account for it. Or what happens if most of your religion is correct, but one of the things that is not correct is that God would send someone to hell just for not believing in him? What if God actually values discovering the truth on your own rather than indoctrination, and so would be more likely to favor me than someone who just accepted him without ever questioning, without ever trying to find him on their own? You know, that's one possibility also, in which case I would end up in heaven even though I don't believe in God, and someone who's indoctrinated would end up in hell. You know, that's a possibility. It may not be what you believe, but it's a possibility. Then, of course, there's the problem where you say, if I'm right as an atheist and you're wrong as a Christian, then you die having lost nothing. That's not true. Because if I'm right as an atheist and there is nothing after death, then you've wasted much of your life spending time worshipping a God that doesn't exist. You've adjusted your actions to agree with what you believe God has said to do, and you completely changed your way of life for something that, on the assumption that I'm right, doesn't exist. So you have lost something. You've wasted most of your life. Think of it this way. If evolution is right and creationism is wrong, then you may say a creationist has lost nothing, because, you know, even if evolution is right, what does it matter? But if that person were to believe in evolution, perhaps they could have gone into the field of evolutionary biology and come up with some great practical applications of evolutionary theory, some great evidences for it, some great who knows what. You know? Sorry, I have a cold. And on the converse side of everything, what if creationism is right and evolution is wrong? People say, well, you're not agreeing with God and you're going to go to hell, but assuming that only creationism is right, which would be kind of deist beliefs, that there's a God who created us and then stepped back and has never been in our lives since then, kind of a deist point of view. If that were true, then what has the evolutionist lost? Well, they've been believing in a lie their whole lives. So you see, it works both ways. because the afterlife is not the only aspect of such a wager. What have you lost includes in life and the afterlife. And so the atheist wager is just insufficient, an insufficient reason to believe in God. You also have to think, if God is all-knowing, as you believe he is, and you're right, then for me to pretend to believe in God and act like I believe in God without truly believing it, because you yourself should know, and when I say you yourself, I'm talking to everyone who's watching this, that it's impossible to force yourself to believe in something you don't. Just like you can't force a Christian to believe that God doesn't exist, you can't force an atheist to believe that God does exist, and you can't force yourself to believe it. And so wouldn't an all-knowing God see through that and see that you're only pretending to believe in him for your own selfish needs, that you don't go to hell? And so wouldn't you be sent to hell for that? Nope, that's a huge possibility. So the atheist wager, the Pascal's wager is just a horribly insufficient wager and should never be used as a valid argument. And I've just seen a lot of people use it, and I want to clear that up. In case you haven't noticed, most of my videos are just clearing up misconception, clearing up things that I've heard used too often and are being spread, ideas that are being spread that are just false or that have no validity, and I like to clear up misconceptions.